Ollie was at the boardwalk down in Ocean City. He was enjoying a nice fruity ice snowball type drink thing. Just watching the waves. All of a sudden, excuse me, this lady ran by. It was a little unusual, but I'll stop that. But, you know, that's whatever. People can run by if they want to run by. But then he heard her crying. And he looked down the boardwalk a little bit, and there was a little girl, and she was crying and pointing in the same direction where Ollie was standing and where the lady had run by. Ollie went over and he said, "Hey, what's wrong?" And the little girl said, "That lady stole my bunny, my special, special bunny." And she ran away. I said, "Yeah, she ran kind of where you came from, but yeah." I said, "I'm on the case." And he, real quick, gave the kid a business card that had a cell phone on it. And he started running after the lady. Now, Ollie hadn't really hadn't been watching where the running lady was going. So he had to act fast. He ran after him. He got to where he'd been standing before. He asked somebody that he'd been standing next to. He said, "That lady that ran by, which way did she go?" The guy said, she went, it looked like she went straight down the boardwalk. Ollie climbed up as quickly as he could, which was quite fast, up on top of the store that they were getting their, frozen ice fruity things from, and to see if he could see. And there he did see, a good while up now, a person running. So I started running, and he realized he could run across the roofs of the stores. They were all very close together. He could run across those, perhaps faster than he could run across the ground. And so he started running. Running across, I'm sure it sounded very strange from inside the stores, but Ollie was gaining on her. But then it came to an intersection. The buildings paused, for 30 feet. And the lady kept on running, and Ollie had to climb down and run after her. When he got back on the ground and got back up, she was gone. She must have realized he'd been chasing her. So he got back down and started asking people, "Where did the lady that was running go? The lady carrying the teddy bear." The bunny, sorry. The stuffed bunny. And most people didn't know. And then one person said, "Wait, you said a lady running carrying a stuffed bunny?" "Yeah, she came in here. She ran right into my shop. And she darted right through like she owned the place and ran out the back." I said, "Oh, man, do you mind if I go that way too?" I said, yeah, you're going to catch her, man. I don't like it when people do that. It's not the first time it's happened, but I don't like it. I said, "Can you show me the way?" So he led Ollie through as fast as he could through the store. It was kind of obvious where the back door was, but Ollie figured it'd be a little bit faster if he had a guide. So he popped through the back door. He looked around. Oh, excuse me. At first he didn't see anything. So he listened. And he heard what sounded like running off to his right through a small parking lot where he couldn't quite see. So he ran as fast as he could across the parking lot. And he turned and looked, and there was the lady again. She had a good lead on him now. He sit still. But he was still following her. And he ran. And she ran. And there was a lot of running. There weren't any good places to dodge in. Or so I thought. Because all of a sudden she darted to the right and seemed to disappear. Well, I ran up as quickly as he could to where he thought he saw her dart in, and there didn't seem to be anything. It had been behind this bush, but behind the bush was nothing. It's a sign for a hotel. I said, how could she have disappeared here? At first he looked inside the bush. Maybe she was just hiding, but no. He looked in and around the sign, looking for a path, something. Didn't see anything. But the hotel had a wall around the parking lot. I figured he would have seen her jump over the wall. But where could she have gone? Where could she have gone? Well, I thought, well, if it worked before, maybe it'll work again. I climbed up onto the sign, up onto the wall, looked around, didn't see anything. He climbed up into the tree, and using his natural lightness, he spread out all over the way and was able to climb out on the branches out of the canopy and poked his head up out of the canopy of the tree to see what he could see. And then, that was when he spotted her. She must have hopped over the wall, because she was already over in the tennis courts inside the hotel complex. Ollie climbed down as fast as he could and ran along the wall toward the tennis area. But when he was coming up to the tennis area, all of a sudden, a big muscular palm met him right in the chest, or whatever the octopus equivalent of a chest is. Said, "Hold on there. This area is for guests only, and I don't remember seeing you around the hotel." I said, "Yeah, I'm not staying here. My name's Ollie the Octopus. There's a thief that's run in here, and I need to catch her." I said, "Yeah, well, I've heard it all before. This is the nicest tennis courts and the nicest pool in the whole beach area. So, no, I don't think you'll be going in." "But the thief." I said, "I didn't see any thief. I just see you trying to sneak in. Don't try to act like an octopus like you wouldn't love our big fancy pool." Oh, it's growing frustrated. I said, "I'm sure I would like it, but that's not why I'm here. I'm not trying to sneak into your hotel grounds. I'm trying to stop a thief." I said, "Yeah, you keep saying it, but I still don't believe it any more than I did the first time." That, all I knew, he had to take quick action. So, trying to be as startling, but not harmful as he could, he reached out and slapped the guard across the face, just to surprise him, set him off guard. The guard was obviously not expecting that. I said, how dare you?" But while he was still reeling and confused by that, he leapt, jumped off his head, and climbed up onto the fence of the tennis courts. I started to run along the top of the fence, looking for his quarry again. But once again, he'd lost her. But now he had another problem. The security guard was running after him. He had to either find this lady, this thief, or get off the hotel property, or both, quickly, or it was going to turn into a bigger problem. So he ran along the top of the fence in the direction that he thought he'd seen the lady going. Still didn't see her yet. He got all the way out, the security guard chasing him still, and yelling and shouting, like, "Hey, you! I'm going to call the cops. You're going to jail, octopus." He got to the end of the fence line. And to his luck, the fence ended on top of a garden, and the guard couldn't easily get up into the garden. It was like a raised garden. So he climbed down onto the garden wall. On the other side of the garden wall, he was back on the boardwalk. He looked up and down. And then he spotted her again. She was running back down the boardwalk. He said, "This isn't working. I'm going to be chasing her all day. I need to come up with a better plan." Just then, he spotted those rental scooters. Thought, shoot, do I still have a membership? He looked on his phone. He did have a membership. He jumped on, started the rental with his phone, and zipped off in her direction. All I knew this was a risky move, because you can get in trouble for riding scooters too fast on the boardwalk, and plus, it's kind of bumpy riding a scooter on the boardwalk. But he was doing his best. He was gaining on her finally. Got closer and closer, and she was running, and she was out of ideas. She turned and leapt over the seawall down under the beach. It wasn't a far drop, maybe 4 feet. I said, dang it, dang it, dang it. I can't bring the scooter on the beach. He jumped off the scooter onto the seawall, jumped onto the sand, and then it was just a flat-out foot race. The thief was running out of ideas. They were both running out of energy. This has been a lot of running. She just ran straight at first toward the ocean, and then she realized the disadvantage she would have in the ocean. So she started running along the beach. Ollie was pretty sure she didn't actually even have a plan anymore. But he was chasing. He runs pretty fast on the beach, especially the hard beach near the water. Her feet were sticking in the mud a little bit. Her shoes getting wet. Ollie's getting closer and closer and closer. And all of a sudden he heard the roar of an ATV, an all-terrain vehicle, buzzing by her way and a loud whistle. I can't do a loud whistle, but... And they said, Jane, finally! And ATV sped their direction. And the lady hopped onto the ATV, and they sped away. But what they didn't realize is that Ollie had grabbed onto the bumper and swung himself onto the back. The last second. Barely got there, but he got there. And they were laughing. I said, ha, 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 I got it. Oh, man, this random octopus was chasing me. I'm glad you found me. I don't know where this octopus came from, but I think we lost him. Oh, man, glad you have this ATV. We better get off the beach, though, before someone notices us. So they drove off the beach, and Ollie just hung on quietly on the back. After about 5 minutes, they pulled into a residential neighborhood. Pulled up to the house. And then they parked in the garage. The driver said, so what do you want with this stuffed animal anyway? She said, oh, this is no ordinary stuffed animal. It looks like it, and that kid was a pretty good actor, but inside of here is a special roll of film. It's government secrets on it. And I'm going to sell it to the highest bidder. The guy said, well, that's cool. I don't know how you found out about that. I've got my connections. That's great. Man, I'm glad the ATV thing worked. That's a good thought. I said, yeah. I figure an ATV's got to be faster than an octopus. But what they didn't realize is they didn't realize Ollie was in the room, and they didn't realize that while they were talking, Ollie had very quietly snuck 2 tentacles up. Pulled the little stuffed bunny, and he pulled the keys to the ATV. He waited for his opportunity to sneak away. So they talked. The conversation had shifted. They're like, so what do you want to do tonight? It's like, I'm thinking this is going to be a good score for us. Let's go out to dinner. We haven't gone out to dinner in a while. I said, yeah, that sounds nice. Where do you want to go? And they're just talking about stuff like that. And they seemed distracted. So Ollie slipped off the back of the ATV. Ever so quietly snuck his way the door into the house was open. It was like about a gap of about 4 feet where he would be visible if they looked. There's nowhere to hide. So he waited until they were deep in conversation. He's pretty sure they weren't going to look up. And then he made the run for it. He darted across. Now, they did hear something. They heard a little rustle. They turned, but he was already gone. Dashing through the house, looking for the front door, finding the front door, getting out the front door. They heard the slam of the front door, but by then it was too late. The lady turned around and said, Where's the bear? Bunny. Where's the bunny? The guy said, it was right beside you. Where are the keys? They weren't in the ignition. How did we... The octopus was here. How was the octopus here? But Ollie was long gone. They ran out after the house, ran to the front door and looked for him. But Ollie's a little better at disappearing than this thief was. Because when they looked, they ran out, and they didn't see him at all. They looked around. They ran off in the ran one direction, one ran the other direction. But they never found him because while they were running off, Ollie had actually just climbed up onto the roof. And when they ran off to go and look for Ollie as if he'd run down the road, Ollie just called a taxi. The taxi pulled up. Ollie hopped in, and off they drove. The only flaw with all of this was that Ollie hadn't taken the time to collect the phone number of the person he was helping. So he realized he would just have to wait for them to call him. So he went to a local bank and he got a safe deposit box. He put the bear and the keys in the safe deposit box. The bunny and the keys in the safe deposit box. And he said, I bet if it really is secret government microfilm, they'll reimburse me for the cost of the safety deposit box rental for a few days. And so he went back to his vacation. He drank some fruity drinks. He ate some seafood. He ate some fried food. He played in the water. And on the last day, he got a call. Ollie the octopus, this is the FBI. I said, I wonder when you call. I said, so, do you have the bunny? I said, I do. I said, all right. Well, we can meet up. And we'll get that bunny for you. And, whatever expenses you might have had securing it, we'd be happy to reimburse. And that was the case of Ollie and the swiped bunny.